fragrance industry, with the cosmetics industry, with the cleaning products industry, who are saying we don't want to disclose our ingredients because we don't think there's a problem. And they are looking at their one product or their one chemical and saying it's fine. What they're not doing, they're not looking at the variety of exposures that all of us are exposed to.
The rise in autism, the rise in breast cancer, the rise in reproductive problems, the rise in certain childhood cancers, the increase of diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, all have to be due to environmental factors. And if you map the increase of those diseases against the increased use and exposure to toxic chemicals, there's a pretty good match there.
Here in the United States, our federal system takes a different approach to chemical regulation.
Members of the Senate reject the precautionary principle.
In the case of chemicals, we use a very perverse framework. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. The question is, okay, well, how many people have to die? How many people have to get sick before the proof becomes overwhelming and inescapable? And what we need is a preventative approach. You have to prove the product's safe. You have to prove the chemical's safe. And until that's proven, it shouldn't be allowed in a store. It shouldn't be allowed in a product. But we don't have that framework, and that's the framework we need.
The government urges us to avoid chemicals that cause cancer and birth defects. But at the same time, corporations can put products on the shelf that contain these harmful chemicals, and they don't have to tell us. And what we don't know can hurt us.
Most people don't quite realize that chemicals that are used in the products that you buy, that you take into your home, are not really regulated by the federal government. I think most people think there is something like the FDA model for drugs for the chemicals that are in consumer products.
When the chemical analysis arrived for the pajamas I bought from Justice, I was curious whether my instincts were right. Could there be toxic chemicals hidden inside? I called a chemist to decipher the report for me.
We looked at things that the EPA considers to be potentially problematic compounds.
Okay.
In your case, there were 2 phthalates, and of all the phthalates, the one that's the most problematic potentially is this one, this 2-ethylhexyl phthalate.
These phthalates are endocrine-disrupting chemicals and can be especially harmful to young girls, even at minuscule amounts.
We're more concerned about it than any other phthalate.
The chemicals that are in the environment that are in our everyday products end up in our body. These chemicals get into the mother's body, slip across the placenta, and contaminate babies even before the moment of birth. And the fact is, each one of us, each of our children is born pre-polluted with hundreds of different chemicals from our everyday lives, from our everyday products.